Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and I am passionate about helping scholarly mamas like you navigate your journeys with purpose so you can achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters. The reality is that scholarly mama life is multidimensional. We're scholars, yes, but we're also mothers, wives, and so much more with whole lives outside of academia. So how do we successfully navigate all this? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Only then can we begin the important work of becoming purposefully whole. And part of my own purposeful work is to create a space for us as scholarly mamas to grow, to reflect, and to become everything that we were meant to be. So, mama, are you in? Fabulous. Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Hey mamas, welcome back to the podcast. I am so thrilled that you've chosen to listen in today to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I don't take your time for granted, and I am so grateful that you are here. If this is your first time listening to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast, then please do accept from me a heartfelt welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you do like what you hear, or if you're a regular listener and you have been enjoying the podcast for quite some time, please do leave us a review in either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you usually listen to your podcast. So, welcome to another empowering episode of the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast, where we delve deep into the realms of all things PhD motherhood. And in today's episode, I want to explore the 7 key pillars that unlock success for mothers pursuing their doctorates. This topic is very important to me because I know that doing a PhD, pursuing a doctorate degree is not an easy undertaking. It's no easy feat. And any help, any support, and any inspiration that we can get along this journey can make all the difference between us feeling overwhelmed and burnt out and just isolated and alone to us feeling like we've got a community, like we are not alone in this journey and that others have done it. And so we can too. And so I feel like part of my job here is to, of course, celebrate your journey and remind you of all the great things that you are accomplishing, but also to offer that encouragement for the days and the moments where you don't feel so inspired, where you don't feel like you're doing all the great things. You're just kind of surviving and making it by. And so I want to encourage you because I have been there, I've done that. And I just wanted to let you know that you can get through this and there is, a light at the end of this tunnel. And so those 7 key pillars I mentioned before, I refer to them as the 7 C's. And that's what we're going to focus on in today's episode. And so the first C that I want to share with you is curiosity. Now, we all know that curiosity is the spark that ignites the scholarly mama journey. You didn't just start this journey because someone forced you to do it or you had no choice for whatever reason, but you are probably doing a PhD because you have a curious mind. When I was growing up, I was always told by people, Michelle, you've got a really curious mind. And you know what? I already knew and accepted that about myself. I accepted that because I knew that I did have a curious mind. When I look back at the photo that I posted of my 4-year-old self back a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, I look at that photo and I think, goodness, you had so much potential. But first and foremost, you were curious. I was always the child asking questions, annoying people with all of my questions. I was always the person who never really accepted the status quo, but wanted to challenge it and question it and wonder, why are you doing it that way? Is there another way that it can be done? And also being a reflector, I found myself reflecting with questions and thinking, Was that the best way to handle that? Was that the best way to say that? Was that the best way to do that? And then questioning whether, where there was room for improvement, how can things be done better or differently or what have you? And I feel like that curiosity has been the spark that has kept me going over and over again from one journey to another. Embracing that curiosity allowed me to ask thought-provoking questions, allowed me to seek new perspectives, and constantly yearn for knowledge, constantly be open to learning new things. And so as PhD mamas, as scholarly mamas, as mamas doing PhDs, let your curiosity guide you. Let it be ignited. Embrace that curious mind. Let it fuel your passions. Let it keep you engaged in the things that stimulate you and bring you joy and happiness. But not only joy and happiness, but helps you to be a better researcher as well. And so that curious mind is the gateway to a world of possibilities. And one of the things that I always encourage our kids to do is to ask questions. There's no harm that comes from asking a question. There's no such thing as a silly question. There's no such thing as a question that doesn't matter, because by asking that question, you're opening conversation, you're opening your thinking, you're able to engage in deep thinking, and you're able to open your mind. And so I think curiosity is one of those 7 key pillars that can unlock success for any mama pursuing their doctorate. So the second C that I want to share with you for embracing and thriving in PhD motherhood is creativity. Creativity is literally the fuel that powers innovation and breakthroughs. Balancing the demands of motherhood and academic pursuits requires creative thinking, finding unique solutions, thinking outside of the box, and just integrating diverse ideas will not only enrich your research life, but also your motherhood journey. One of my greatest achievements has been embracing my creativity and writing and publishing my children's picture book series called Doodle Dozen. That was an inspiration from my own kids who inspired me to create that piece of creative work, but also it was an invitation for myself to just lean into that creativity. And I always talk about the journey of Doodle Dozen being 2 parts. On one hand, there's a journey of the creative child. My sons, they inspired me to create this wonderful story and fun adventure that most kids who love drawing and coloring and embracing their creative spirit will enjoy. But also there's my own creative journey, my own journey of personal growth, stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this as a labor of love for my boys. This was me just tapping into my own creativity and saying, you know what? Yeah, this is not something that a researcher might normally do, but actually I have a creative bone in my body as well. And I want to explore that. I want to use it to inspire kids who may be thinking, oh, but what if I'm not good at the academic stuff? Or what if I'm not good at sports? Where do I fit? And actually there is a space for you. There is space for your creativity, and you should explore and embrace that. And so this is the reason why one of my 7 C's has to be creativity. And it's actually quite high up on the list because creativity fuels that innovative mindset. And it allows you to come up with things that could potentially change the entire world. It can even have an impact on so many people in so many different ways that you may not even imagine. And so being able to embrace that creativity, even though you don't necessarily know where it will lead, what doors will open because of it, but just taking that first step and embracing that creativity gives you a whole new perspective on PhD motherhood, because it allows you to open another aspect of yourself, of your mind, that as researchers, we don't often get a chance to tap into. And so if you're interested in knowing more about Doodle Dozen and my creative picture book series, please head over to doodledozen.com. You can see the origins of the stories, how, why and how Doodle Dozen came about. And also, if you're interested, you can purchase either a copy of the picture books themselves, or you can purchase some of the merchandise that we sell on doodledozen.com. So please head over to doodledozen.com. And we've also got some really fun videos and a YouTube channel that you can tap into as well if you've got little ones between the ages of 4 and 8 years old. Okay, so the next C that I want to share with you for unlocking that success in your PhD motherhood journey is courage. Courage is the backbone of perseverance. PhD motherhood demands resilience and bravery in the face of challenges. Embracing that courage to tackle obstacles head on is so key. And juggling research deadlines while nurturing your family takes a certain resilience, and courage to be able to chart your own path to scholarly mama success. And so that's why courage has to be the third C, because when you believe in what you are doing, when you have, when you are convicted in knowing that the path that you're on is purposeful and is meant to be the path for you, then you can approach that with courage. And even if that doesn't make sense to other people around you who may be only able to view your path from their own perspective, from their own life experiences, when you have the courage to step forward in faith, to step forward with belief and bravery, you can unlock so many doors for yourself as a scholarly mama, whether that be in the academic realm. You may have opportunities come up that you cannot even begin to imagine. Or it may be in your personal life, things that you want to work on, things that you want to embark on, amazing things that may have nothing to do with your scholarly journey, but they're part of your holistic purpose in this life. And so approaching those with an attitude of courage allows you to move and step forward boldly, and allows you to open doors that, staying in a box and staying in a little corner will never allow you to do. But being able to step out there, put yourself forward and say, yep, I am here because this is part of my purposeful work. You can step forward with courage. Okay, so the next C I want to share with you, I think this is C number 4, is confidence. Confidence is the cornerstone of success. Believing in your capabilities as a mother and as a scholar. Owning your expertise and trusting your instincts. This is what confidence is all about as a scholarly mama. Being able to cultivate that confidence to present your research, to express your ideas, and to blend the various roles and hats that you wear to do that effectively. It requires confidence. You have to first believe in yourself. And I have been working with someone who has struggled a little bit with this aspect of confidence. They know where they want to go. They've got huge ambitions of all that they want to become, but they don't currently have the confidence because they haven't been able to shift and embody the identity of someone who is capable of achieving those things. And so through our work together, she has realized that the qualities that she admires in her future self are also qualities of her current self. And she just needs to have that self-belief to know that she is more than capable of achieving those goals. And so having that confidence and developing that confidence is really key to kickstarting her scholarly mama success. I've learned that in some cases in this life, there are times where the belief needs to precede the action. We need to be able to see and embody that future self in order that we can have the confidence to proceed in the present, that we can have the confidence to take action now. However, there are also times where we don't always have that belief beforehand. Sometimes taking action actually gives us the confidence. So rather than thinking, I'm just going to hold back until I feel confident enough to step forward, actually thinking, I am going to step forward in order to become confident. And so there are times where, yes, you may not always believe that you are capable of achieving the things you want to achieve, but by taking those small steps forward in the right direction, by taking those little baby steps in the right direction, you're able to make some progress, and that helps to build your confidence. So there are times, yes, where self-belief, taking on that new identity beforehand, gives you the confidence. And there are other times where you need to take action in order to build that confidence. But either way, the key thing is that confidence is a cornerstone of Scholarly Mama success. You need to believe in yourself, whether that means before you take action or after you take action, but you need to find a way to build that self-belief so that you can proceed with absolute confidence in yourself. And listen, I am not going to pretend that this comes naturally all the time, because it doesn't. There are times where even now I still struggle with confidence, still struggle with imposter syndrome, but I recognize that when I am confident, I am much more likely to achieve the things I'm believing for myself. And so, really doing that inner work and working on my mindset helps me to feel confident and helps me to believe in myself, to achieve the things that I want to achieve and to become everything that I am purposed to become. And so it requires you to do a bit of work beforehand. It requires you to put in that effort. It requires you to do the inner reflections and, building and stretching that confidence muscle to really create the environment that is ready to receive that success. It is so, so key, particularly in those areas that really, really matter to you. And so confidence for me definitely deserves a spot in this list of these key pillars to unlock success for scholarly mamas. And so once you have engaged your curiosity and embraced your creativity so that you now possess the courage and confidence to move forward, is where the next C comes in. Because when you are curious and creative, when you're courageous and confident, you then realize you have the clarity in order to move forward. You have the clarity of purpose. You have the clarity of what you're actually meant to do. And I will be going deeper into this inside of our collective of Scholarly Mamas when the doors open in January. But for now, I would just say that clarity of that Scholarly Mama purpose path, knowing exactly where you need to go, how you need to proceed forward, where do you put your energy? I talked in the last episode about energy management, having clarity of the correct energy distribution for yourself, because as we identified in the last episode, our energy is a limited resource. And so with that said, having clarity of what you should invest your time and energy into is key for scholarly mamas. This isn't a situation where we should be just following a particular trajectory, especially when that trajectory has been defined by someone else for us, because everyone's path is different. Everyone's purpose is different. And having clarity of that is the first step in achieving that scholarly mama success, in becoming a purposeful scholarly mama. And so for me, clarity has to be on this list because it's the first step in understanding your scholarly mama purpose path and then being able to proceed with purpose. And so, yeah, definitely clarity is on this list. Okay, so the next C that I feel is so important for becoming a purposeful scholarly mama, for unlocking success in PhD motherhood, is community. This is one of the things that I struggled with during my PhD. I really struggled with having that sense of community. This is the reason why I embarked on founding Scholarly Mamas, because I know the benefits of having a community. I've experienced the benefits of community in other areas of my life, but I didn't have that support system for my scholarly mama journey. I didn't have a community around me that I felt could really understand the struggles of this journey and to offer support and to just rally around each other. I didn't have that. And community is the support system that every PhD mother needs. Building networks, connecting with other scholarly mamas, seeking mentorship. These are the things that help us to feel a sense of belonging and help us to feel like we are part of something bigger than ourselves. And so what I would say to you, if you are at the point where you are in the throes of the PhD motherhood, you're in the throes of the juggle struggle, to surround yourself with individuals who understand your journey, who can offer guidance and share experiences, because together we can uplift and empower each other. And this is the reason for Scholarly Mamas. I really hope that you will choose to be a part of this, choose to be a part of something great and actually change your juggle struggle into your purposeful journeys of becoming a scholarly mama. I cannot wait to open the doors to this purposeful space just for scholarly mamas and to have us all just interacting with each other, supporting each other, and being a part of something amazing. So community is definitely one of my top C's. Okay, so the final C, C number 7, for how you can unlock the door to success as a scholarly mama is contribution. Now, contribution is the essence of purpose. Your research and your experiences as a scholarly mama hold immense value. Sharing your knowledge, mentoring others, and contributing to academia and society in general. These are the components of your scholarly mama purpose path. Your unique perspective enriches the scholarly world in some way. And so by embracing this essence and this concept of contribution allows you to see the world as something that you can give to, see the world as something that you can have an impact in, rather than, oh, I'll just sort of collect all of these degrees for myself and just kind of keep this all to myself. No, our purpose is bigger than us. Our purpose is, is more powerful than we can ever imagine. And so this idea of perceiving your scholarly mama journey in the context of contribution allows you to see how every element of your scholarly mama journey, whether it be the academic element or the motherhood element, or if you're in a relationship, then you can see how those can contribute and help someone along the way. Those can, help you to really embrace your scholarly mama purpose path. And so as we wind this episode up, I just wanted to remind you of the 7 C's. So the first was curiosity, creativity, courage, confidence, clarity, community, and contribution. And I hope that these 7 C's will guide you towards purposeful success in your PhD journey while you are navigating the beautiful path of motherhood. So as we close, I just wanted to thank you for tuning in. Remember that you're not just juggling lots of roles, but rather you are on an incredible journey of self-discovery, of personal growth, and of course, of becoming purposefully whole. So stay curious, embrace creativity, hold on to courage, seek clarity, exude confidence, Cherish your community and never underestimate the power of your contributions. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please do share it with another scholarly mama you know. And until next time, I want you to keep thriving, keep believing, keep going. And I'm sending you, as always, lots of love and lots of gratitude. Take care, mama. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, why not head over to mrsmummyphd.com. You can join the waitlist for our exclusive community of smart, purposeful, scholarly mamas. We'd love to see you on the inside. Remember, mama, these are our journeys of becoming.